Hi, my name is Annie, coming back to you today with another video, and now this one's about Agenda 21, Your Enemy in Plain Sight. Okay, now let's pick apart the word agenda. Okay, agenda is a plan of action. Now what does 21 mean? Well, that's a plan of action for the 21st century. Now, Agenda 21 was formerly given a name. Now, other things long before Agenda 21 was named, I believe were already being implemented. And they were being implemented by way of the United Nations for a long time. But as of 1993, the United Nations decided to give what they were doing a name, and that is Agenda 21. The agenda, the plan of action for the 21st century. Now they have a new thing, which is Agenda 2030. And Agenda 2030, I believe, is they want their plans completed by 2030, and that really is not too far away. Okay, and if you go to the United Nations website and put in Agenda 21, you can definitely read it. Now, remember that the first statement in a paragraph is your opening statement or your umbrella statement, and the body of the document must support the first paragraph. It must support and justify the first paragraph. Okay, and basically it was very complicated for me to read through a lot of this. I didn't read the whole thing, but I got the general gist of it. Is pretty much because of overpopulation is the reason why our natural resources and our environment, the natural resources are being depleted, and the environment is a complete disaster. And I'll explain why that's hypocritical, this document. Okay, and now Bill Clinton signed this into law in 1993 with probably no input from the people. So just remember, people, executive orders have been going on long before the Patriot Act. Okay, the Patriot Act just gave it a blanket permission to do anything that they can to enact an executive order. Okay, and since our presidents, especially as a result of the Patriot Act, have been doing executive orders left and right, Mr. Trump included. Now, did Mr. Trump stop Agenda 21 in its tracks? He might have temporarily done this, but already Mexico and Canada are bothering him to come together to have some type of a meeting about TPP. Okay, and probably what we're going to get is a watered down version of TPP that still is in effect and still will affect lives across not only our nation, but the world. Remember, this Agenda 21 is just a globalist tool to push for a one world government, one world currency, and one world religion. And they're making great strides in that as we speak right now. Now, it starts from cradle to grave. You're inundated with phrases to gear you and condition you to accept a one world government and a one world type of system that at its core is satanic. Okay, and now it'll come under the guise of phrases like, these are included but not limited to, hold on, I'm getting my information, things such as go green. I've cut myself before I woke up even saying that phrase, go green. Okay, sustainable living, sustainable development, walkable communities, climate change, global warming. Now, David Rothschild, who is an elite, pushes the global warming concept all the time. This is, and I know he's getting funding for this too. Okay, not that he needs it because he's very wealthy anyway. So, where does the hypocrisy lie in this document? Well, the hypocrisy lies in this document in this way. A lot of your big corporations, big money corporations such as BP, okay, and including but not limited to BP, Walmart, and various others, don't have to abide by these rules, okay, but your smaller businesses do. Okay, and the danger of this document lies in the way that it impedes on our free rights that we've been given under our Constitution and Bill of Rights. It impedes or gets rid of entirely our Constitution and Bill of Rights if Agenda 21 is allowed to grow into an uncontrollable monster. Okay, President Trump going to be able to completely stop Agenda 21? I'm not really sure. Temporarily he has. But you know what they say, when they say peace, sudden destruction cometh. Okay, so we need to be aware of this. Like in the area where I live, Agenda 21 is being pushed very aggressively in certain cities, okay, in the way of bike paths, okay, and in the way of eminent domain. Eminent domain, I believe, is where the government, for whatever reason, can confiscate your property, okay, and the land that goes with it. Now, there was a town hall meeting where they have said that they stated, how can we get these people out of their cars? So your mayor's in on it, your town's in on it, your state, and your nation's in on it. They're all involved with this global effort. And my suggestion to the people out there is, if you own property that's worth any value, such as your house, your car, stocks and bonds, hang on to those. Do not relinquish your property. Stay in your vehicle. Keep your homes. Okay, don't let your homes be forced into foreclosure. I believe the foreclosure crisis in the United States has something to do with Agenda 21. Okay, where you're overtaxed to the point where the average family cannot afford their home. So they end up closing the doors. And most likely the house will not sell because of the economy. Could that be a reason for a thing involved in Agenda 21? Yes. Okay, and we don't want this. This is a very bad thing. I encourage you to even find out more information than what I'm giving you. And remember, under an Agenda 21, various nations who are already suffering, third world nations that don't sign on with the United Nations plan for Agenda 21, basically they're stripped of any funding. Okay, the United Nations document said we encourage nations to sign on with Agenda 21. Well, we all know what the government's version of encourage is, okay, and it's not beneficial to anybody. The rules don't apply to the global elite, but yet they apply to the average populace, and they're going to talk about certain things like forced sterilization. Okay, yes, we all want clean air, clean drinking water, and we want our natural resources to be there. We don't want our natural resources endangered in any situation. But the focus is not on it's coming as a Trojan horse to usher in a global government. This is yet another tool, and something that every American right now really needs to wake up and be aware of. When you start seeing those things like recycle, which is a good thing, but remember, it's all a Trojan horse. I still say recycle anyway. Respect the land that you live in, and don't surrender or relinquish your properties. This is why I believe a lot of the independent farmers have gone under in favor of factory farming by large corporations that are already starting to use and produce GMOs, genetically modified organisms. Support your local businesses. If you have independent farmers in your area, or you have to travel a little bit to get fresh goods, travel a little bit. I mean, everybody likes to take a Sunday drive. Go and stock up and give those independent farmers a chance, okay? Because if not, they're going to be shoved out in favor of a global system that does not have your best interests in mind. And when it comes to your being able to reproduce, the Lord said in his word, be fruitful and multiply. Okay, remember, from cradle to grave, we're being inundated with these communist terms. Okay, we do not have communism in this country, and I'd like it to stay that way. It's coming down the pike, and it's coming rather quickly. I think events are going to take a real serious turn. I'm not pinpointing a time, but I feel that something is coming, and it is going to change many Americans' way of life. And remember, the elderly and the disabled are not a priority to the globalist elites, okay? We are not even a priority. They want population reduction, and we know that the Georgia Guidestones say population is not to exceed 500 million. Well, population means they're going to have to take drastic action to be able to accomplish this. What that means exactly, I don't know. Remember, you're also going to see terms like going brown. Okay, so not even just going green, but going brown. All right, and it's basically a slow way of getting rid of people. And how can they say that the environment's being ruined by the average populace when regularly large corporations and global elites are continuing to use chemtrails on the population? I see them all the time. They're, you know, chemtrails or jet streams. These contain very toxic, cancer-causing substances. Okay, so nobody can tell me that this has anything to do with saving the environment when your large corporations and your global elite are not held to the same standards that we are. Okay, so it's just a Trojan horse. Okay, it's a smoke screen, and don't believe this. But every day in the media, these satanic things are being thrown in our faces. So what do we need to do? The long and the short of it is be ready. Be prepared, okay, for a troublesome time to come. And the first way that we could prepare for that is by believing in and using John 3:16. Okay, because if John 3:16 is not good enough for you, then there's John 3:17. That would pertain to you. But the bottom line, the global elite are ushering in a satanic system, oppression, and Satanism. Remember that Satan likes to pervert everything. He likes to keep people in bondage where the Lord has given us freedoms. And on the list goes. Okay, well, thank you for watching this video. Have a good day.